Hey coffee nerds, or aspiring coffee nerds. I'm Brody, and if you've been following along on my adventures for any given amount of time really, you'll know that I've explored coffee in quite a few unique locations. Small islands in Indonesia, the capital of Kazakhstan, remote villages in India, south of Mexico, just to name a few, but of course, new spots that pop up in my own city all the time. And I get this question a lot. Where can I find good coffee in my city? It's terrible here. And quite honestly, it probably is terrible some of the time. But I do have faith that in pretty much every city, with some exceptions, you can find good coffee. It just comes down to knowing where to look, knowing how to look. And so in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 tricks that I use to find good coffee in a new place every single time. So the first thing I like to do is pull up a few standard blogs, websites, Instagram accounts, and even apps. There's some really great apps out there to get me started. So here are a few that have a lot of great city guides, and I've used them quite a bit on my travels. So the first one, European Coffee Trip. They're an online coffee magazine, and they also have a great YouTube channel. So I think they've probably visited almost every single city in Europe and have done some awesome coffee guides on their website. So I'll leave that down in the description. The next one is 2 that I really like, Sprudge and Perfect Daily Grind. They're very extensive coffee blogs with contributors from all over the world. So a lot of really great perspectives. So I'll usually give them a search if I'm in a new place, see if anyone's written about that place. And then 2 apps that you can use. One of them is actually still in development. It's called Caldi. And the other one is Third Wave, and they're from Montreal. And so both of them have very beautiful Instagram accounts. It's a really great place to start if you're in kind of a more major city. Yeah, I'll leave those down in the description too, so you can go check them out. So the next thing I'll do, which is similar to searching like sort of the standard blogs that I like to use, is searching the map actually. And you could also loop in a quick Google search while you're at it as well. But by going straight to the map, what I'll do is I'll just type in specialty coffee on an area or a city that I'm in, and the map starts to populate with a pretty good idea of where I should start. So start with specialty coffee, and then from here, I'll go into the photos and the reviews to see if they are who they really say they are. And this can be tricky because, you know, photos of latte art used to be a good start, but as you know, it doesn't always indicate the best quality. Now everyone's doing latte art. So usually I'll take the name and pop it into Instagram, because that's gonna give me a really quick snapshot of, do they know what they're talking about? And what do I mean by do they know what they're talking about? So I look for, you know, are they sharing more about the origin and the quality of the coffee itself, talking about the staff, talking about where it's coming from, you know, maybe some of their unique methods, brewing methods and stuff like that, as opposed to how much whipped cream can they fit on top. Not that that's bad, I'm looking for something else. And that brings us to the next step. Go visit the cafe. Maybe you found one online, you're not quite sure about it yet, or maybe you haven't looked online, you just want to walk around the city. How are you going to know that there's good coffee inside? So let's take it to the streets, and I will walk you through the process of distinguishing good coffee from bad coffee. But before we go find a cafe, let's dig into what I'm calling here trick 2.5, and the sponsor for today's video, Wakako. So Wakako, as you know, they make a wide variety of portable coffee brewers. Whether you love espresso or filter coffee, they have a brewer for you. And so if you're going out of town, maybe traveling to a different city, or maybe going camping for a few days, definitely look into Wakako, and don't forget to bring along a bag of your favorite coffee beans, so that you'll be sure to have good coffee anywhere you go, just in case these tricks don't quite work out for you. But I'm sure they will. So let's go grab some coffee. All right, so usually what happens is I'll peek in and I'll check a few things, like the type of equipment that they're using, if they're using scales to weigh the espresso shots, if there's bags of coffee on the shelf, and also other brewing equipment for sale. That's a really good pointer. Some coffee magazines, these kind of things. And then the second thing I'll do is I'll go up to the actual bags and I'll see what kind of descriptions are on there. If it just says a country of origin like Colombia, you know, that only gets me so far. But if I see that there's a little bit more details like the region, the processing methods, maybe even the farmer, or at least the farm, and of course the roasting date, these kind of things, then I know they have a lot better idea of what they're talking about. But that leads us to the fourth trick that I always use, and by far the most effective: ask the barista for recommendations.
So my 3 recommendations in Barcelona for a good coffee are Nomad in first place, the one that they have at Passatge Cert in Born. The 2 is Slomov in Gracia, and the 3rd is 3 Max Coffee.
There you have it. Some tips to get you started so you never have to drink bad coffee ever again. Unless, of course, you want to. But we won't get into that now. If you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time to do so. And if you have any tricks of your own for finding good coffee in a new place or in your own hometown, do leave it down in the comments. I'd be very curious to see what you've come up with. And until the next time, cheers.